Let me guess. You buy a gorgeous, fresh bunch of green onions, just brimming with potential, and then immediately toss it in the fridge, right? Then, after a few days, you open the fridge and you find it's wilted and a mess. It's a total waste of money and good food. I made the same mistakes over and over again until an experienced chef told me the secret that restaurants use to keep green onions fresh for up to a year. So today, I'm going to share them with you. By the end of this video, you will be able to keep those green onions just as crisp and fresh as the day you bought them, so stay tuned. First things first, when you get your green onions home, get that rubber band off. This lets the stalks breathe and prevents them from getting bruised. If you spot any leaves that are already looking a bit wilty or yellow, just peel them away. You don't want one sad onion bringing the whole bunch down. Next, grab a tall, sturdy glass or a mason jar, something tall enough to keep the onions from flopping over. If you don't have that, you can easily create one using an old water bottle. You're going to stand the green onions up inside, with the white root ends at the bottom. The secret here is to buy onions with the roots still attached. That's what makes this trick so effective. Now, add about an inch of cool, fresh water to the jar. You just want to submerge the roots, not drown the entire stalk. This is what keeps the onions hydrated and crisp. And here's the crucial step. Take a plastic bag or a Ziploc bag and loosely drape it over the top of the green onions, covering the jar's opening. You're not sealing it tight. The bag just creates a little humid dome, protecting the green tops from the dry fridge air that makes them wilt. Place your green onion in the door of your fridge or on a shelf where it won't get knocked over. Change the water every couple of days. This stops the water from getting funky and keeps the onions healthy. Just pour out the old water and pour in a fresh inch of new. With this simple trick, your green onions can easily last for weeks. No more waste, and you'll always have crisp, flavorful onions ready for salads, soups, and garnishes. For the next method, I will show you how to have a constant supply of green onions by simply regrowing them at home. It is very simple and easy to do. First, cut the green onion stems, keeping the white part and the root ends intact. Then, prepare a narrow jar. We will make one out of this water bottle. Place the green onion roots into a narrow opening. Then add just enough water to cover the roots. Where are you watching me from, and what does a bunch of green onions cost in your area? Sometimes they're super cheap, and other times they're surprisingly pricey. Let me know in the comments below. It's always fascinating to see how it varies from place to place. Place the jar in a location with natural sunlight, and change the water every couple of days to prevent slime and to keep the water fresh. They will start regrowing immediately. This shows just 3 days of growth. Once the green onion grows long enough, you can snip off the greens to use in your cooking. The green onion will continue to regrow. Note that, while you can grow green onions in water for a while, they will eventually need more nutrients than water alone can provide. Thus, for a longer-lasting and more continuous supply, transplant the regrown green onions into soil after a few weeks in water. Before we move to method 3, wash your green onions with baking soda and water. Green onions are treated with pesticides and herbicides to manage weeds and protect them from pests. But green onions do not have an inedible outer layer that can be discarded to remove pesticide residue, making them more susceptible to carrying pesticides on the parts you eat. Grab a bowl of cold water and add about a tablespoon of baking soda. Gently wash the green onions and soak it for about 3 to 4 minutes to remove any dirt or pesticides. After they are clean, it's time to dry them. The single most critical step in this whole process is making sure your green onions are completely bone dry. Any water is the enemy here. Extra moisture is what makes them slimy. You can pat them dry with a kitchen towel, but I like to go the extra mile. I lay them out on a dry towel on the counter for about an hour, just to be sure every last bit of moisture has evaporated. This step is non-negotiable for the best results. Now that they are clean and dry, let's start with method 3. Take some cling film or plastic wrap and use it to gently wrap the green onions, ensuring they are not crushed. If you're enjoying this video and will love to see more helpful tips like this, please hit the subscribe button and the notification bell so that you don't miss anything I upload. And also hit the like button. It's a free way of supporting us. I know you will enjoy being here with all the helpful tips I will be uploading. Then place the wrapped green onions in the refrigerator, but most preferably in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator. Method 4. Storing green onions in paper towels. Take your clean and dry green onions and lay them on a dry paper towel. Roll them up in the paper towel, ensuring the paper is snug but not so tight that it crushes the onions. Place the rolled bundle into a Ziploc bag or an airtight container, making sure there's a bit of airflow. Then store them in your fridge, preferably in the crisper drawer of the refrigerator. The paper towels absorb moisture to stop the green onions from getting soggy or slimy, so make sure to inspect them occasionally and replace the paper towel if it becomes wet or if the onions are softening. So all the above methods are fantastic for short-term freshness. But what if you want to stock up? Then this is where the long-term solution comes in: freezing. I know what you might be thinking: frozen green onions? Won't they be a soggy, flavorless mess? Nope, not if you do it the right way. Done correctly, freezing locks in that oniony punch for months, and it's the single best way to make sure you have them on hand for up to a year. For the freezing to be done correctly, make sure that your green onions are completely dry. Any water here turns into ice crystals, which ruin the texture and cause freezer burn. Once you know they're perfectly dry, it's time to chop. You can slice them into little rounds or on a diagonal, however you like to use them. It's smart to think about how you'll use them later. Put the cut green onions in a freezer-safe airtight container or Ziploc bag and pop them in the freezer. I often separate the more pungent white and light green parts from the milder dark green tops, since they're often used differently in recipes. Now, whenever a recipe calls for green onions, just open the bag, take out what you need, and they'll be perfectly loose and ready to go. Now that you know these 5 foolproof methods, you'll never have to toss out slimy green onions again. You'll save money, cut down on food waste, and always have that fresh, zesty flavor right at your fingertips. It's wild how a couple of simple tricks can totally change how you run your kitchen. Which of these methods do you like the most? Let me know your pick in the comments. I read every single one, and I'd love to know which method is going to be a game changer for you. If you found these tips helpful, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. And don't forget to subscribe for more smart kitchen tips and money-saving hacks. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.